Uh, yeah, we'll start.
Yeah.
You're getting recorded.
Okay. Even I'm recording. No issues. So
Okay.
let's talk about agile now. As I said, agile is a quick process, speedy process where we can finish the project within less time with less cost by dividing the tasks. Okay. Yes. So the first one, go with RAD, Rapid Application Development Model. Look at these stages. We have requirement planning phase, user description phase, construction phase, and cutover phase. Where is the analysis phase? Where is the designing, development, and testing? Of course, they are here. So what Agile said, speed up or bypass, right? So we speeded up the analysis phase, and we call it as requirements planning phase. Okay, the requirement planning phase is analysis phase only. Okay, so in analysis phase as a BA, what you do? You go to client, you interact with the client, you gather requirements, you document them, right? You explain it to your technical team. That is what you do in analysis phase, right? So here what you're doing, the same story, the same analysis, but by conducting a workshop. So in other SDLC models, what you do, you just go to client personally, or I mean face to face, or do you go with the interview process or questionnaire process or any other process. One-on-one interaction. Systems analyst will communicate with TSME, data analyst will communicate with DSME one-on-one on some different timings or different, it will take almost like 3 months, let's say, for requirement gathering and documentation and all this. But here, we have to do the same job. I mean to say, we have to finish all the requirements within 10 days. So how is that possible? What we do here is we conduct a workshop as a BA. We also call it as joint application design. Okay, so we conduct a workshop and invite all the client side people and the IT team, technical team under one roof, and make them to discuss with each other face to face. That can be face to face, that can be a video conference. Okay, most of the time it happens in a hotels, resorts, or in office. Okay, so it goes for 10 days continuously in the sense daily 8 hours, 9 hours with some breaks. Of course, if we prepare an agenda, so based on the agenda, so today this we'll discuss, tomorrow this we'll discuss, according to that, the maximum, the duration is 10 days according to the rule. We can even extend it to 5 more days, we can make it 15 days, but not more than that. So within 10 to 15 days you have to finish it off. Requirements planning phase. You understand what I'm saying? What you did, you speeded up the process here. Instead of 3 months, you have taken only to 10 days here. Almost you have saved 2 months or 2 months 15, 2 months 15 days of time. So when you save the time, what happens? Automatically the cost also decreases. And how do you increase the productivity here? How did you increase the productivity? By communicating all people under one roof. That means you have to act like an event organizer here. You have to send invitations, you have to take care of the workshop agenda, you have to prepare the workshop material, you have to interact with your HR team and discuss regarding hotel bookings, or the sort, or anything where there should not be any disturbance or we should not be over the budget. Okay, if the client is on site and you're offshore, that doesn't mean that you have to go to on site, or people come to India, again the flight charges, and again that will be pretty costly. So that's why we go with a video conference. Understand, we use this low cost tools or free of cost tools like WebEx or GoToMeetings. Even we can share camera, right? Video we can share on this. There is a webcam. Yeah. So in companies we use remote accesses, we use video conferences. Yes. So what is an advantage if you conduct a workshop? Not only the most vocal ones, everyone will get a chance to talk. Okay, who is a vocal one here? Business analyst, project manager, correct? Technical lead. Not only you, everyone will get a chance to talk in that meeting. Of course, it depends on their maturity of the knowledge what they have. Okay, yes, new ideas will come out, new thoughts, new implementations. You will get a new project, and this is mostly used for new projects. Of course, why will conduct a workshop to discuss something new, right? To to invent something new, to discover something new, to come out with a new solution, new thought. That is, this is for new projects. Most of the time we conduct. Understand? So once the requirements are done here, again we should not waste time. I mean, what I'm trying to say is like once the development starts, once the testing starts, once the designing starts, uh, you know, if client want to change requirement, of course we can change. But here, what happens if you change? It affects on the time again. If it affects on the time, it affects on the cost again. So that is the reason. Finalize all the requirements in the workshop itself in the beginning. That's it. Okay. After that, no turning back. Of course, we can have meetings, but not no major changes. We can have small minor changes, but not major changes, which affects the budget and time. Right. So next, user description phase. Automated tools capture information from users. Same the analysis phase only. The requirement phase and user description phase both comes under analysis phase. What we do here, I mean, we don't take a pen and paper and write down all the requirements. Okay, we record the sessions, or we'll arrange a separate person, for recording or for taking notes, short notes, because we don't have that much time. And moreover, when I say agile or RAD, short iterations, correct? I mean to say incremental, like short. You're not designing a big application, a small application. So obviously there will be less requirements, and the objective and the vision will be very clear. Okay, the goal will be very clear. Correct? No confusion. So that's how we gather requirements in 10 days.
Sure.
Mhm.
So you mean to say that in big projects we don't use agile and R&D?
In big projects means where requirements depends on each other, like operating system or servers or databases. We can't use this, right? Because you cannot divide the work. How will you divide the work?
Okay, okay.
We
Yeah, yeah, I got it.
understand.
Hmm.
Incremental only. This is an incremental only, but
Yeah.
we are doing it very fast. In incremental, it will take 6 months, for example, to design Gmail. Here it will take only 2 months or 3 months. How and why? Because in incremental, what happens? Requirements gathering is 3 months. Okay, designing is 3 months, or else requirement gathering is 1 month. Designing is 2 months. Development is 2 months. Overall 6 months. But here, requirement gathering is only 10 days, not 1 month or 2 months. How? How is that possible? By conducting this workshop. That is what is speed up. We speeded up the work. That's it. Understand?
Yes.
Yes, correct. Next, construction phase. When I say the construction, the name itself says construction, complete development. That means designing, development, that is designing, coding, and testing all happens simultaneously. Example, business analysts have gathered 100 requirements or 10 requirements and hand over it to designing team. Designer, what they do? Take an example of Gmail only, okay? Designer design the registration page. Immediately, programmer will start writing program for the registration page. Meanwhile, designer design the login page. Immediately, programmer will write it. Parallelly, correct? The things are happening at a time. People are working on things instead of waiting. When you go to the traditional SDLC model, like when you look into waterfall or incremental or any prototype or any traditional, you have to wait. The tester will be waiting for since 6 months, because business requirement gathering, designing, development, then it comes to testing. Developer will wait for designer, designer will wait for BA. So that won't happen here. Okay. So 10 days is requirement gathering is over. Let's say 5 days you take for documentation, over. 15 days is over. Immediately designer will start the setup. He'll start the setup and he will start designing it. And once he design a small chunk, a small bit, immediately he send to programmer. Programmer will write a code. Meanwhile, the testing, or else BA gather all the requirements, and designing development happens at a time, and testing happens later in the sense after development. So whatever it is, according to the flexibility, according to the project, okay, according to the things, we speed up, and that is what is bypass. We are merging the work. That is what is happens in construction phase. What do you mean by tools such as code generators, spin generators, designing tools, programming tools? We use programmer write a programmer code, right? Yeah. Designers use designing tools like graphical user interface designers like SharePoint. Okay, SharePoint is an application or SAP. Like ready-made ready-made tools also will have ready-made applications, designing applications, screen, graphical user interface also we will find. Okay, we use that. Correct. Instead of designing them, ready-made tools also we will find. Yeah. Ready-made drawings. Yeah. Okay. So inside a time box, do until done. So there will be a particular time box, like 2 months or 3 months. Okay. So within the time box, you have to finish it off. Not even we should not even extend a single day or single minute. Of course, it happens in real time. Sometimes it may extend for 5 days, 10 days, but that is not a good practice. So we must be very strict to fix this time. Yeah. Go ahead.
So is there every time we use ready-made softwares here, or is there some situation of like that?
Again, it depends on the so it depends on the budget.
Mm-hmm.
If you are using some ready-made, then it's pretty costly, right? You have to buy those tools. It completely depends upon the budget. This is like, this is like cooking your own dish. That's it. Your wish. Okay, you buy 100 rupees basmati, or you buy a 10 rupees basmati. Your wish. Correct. Ah, so
So like you buy that
hmm.
auto-generated tools, what do you call that?
No,
So,
no,
but it will
no.
save time on the other hand.
Exactly. We don't
It will
use them.
cost.
I mean, technical team will
Mhm.
work on it. We don't bother about it. As a BA, we don't have any.
Okay, okay.
Our job is just requirement gathering and documentation.
Mhm.
Let the technical
Okay,
team do that work.
right.
So, and the last is cutover phase. The cutover phase means deployment, UAT, user acceptance testing, deployment, installation. Correct. So let's say this is all like 10 to 15 days. So 15 days cutover phase, 15 days is requirement, 30 days, and the construction is 2 months. Let's say overall in 3 months you finish the same project. If you follow incremental, it will take 8 months to 1 year. Why? Because requirement gathering takes 2 months there. Here it takes only 10 days. How? This is how. You understand, right? This is how it happens because we conduct a workshop. So did we hire any people more? No. If I ask you to design the project in less time, basically what we do is we hire more people. Correct. Instead of one BA, we'll hire 10 BS, so that every person will, gather a couple of requirements. And but we are not doing like that. We use some free of tools. Okay. Techniques, methods, techniques, and we develop that. Next page. R&D strengths. Reduced cycle time means life cycle time, and improved productivity. With fewer people means lower costs. Fewer people means less people. With less cost, more productivity. Exactly. Time box approach mitigates cost and schedule risk. Exactly. You will have a particular time box. Within the time box, you have to finish it up. Customer renewal throughout the complete cycle minimizes risk of not achieving customer satisfaction and business needs. Yeah. Client will be always with you. Client will be always with you. That means now there are many doubts here. You may come out with many doubts. If you are working from India, then how client will be with you? Let's say client is in US, client is on EST time zone, then how will you work? First question. Okay. Second point is, in agile or any speedy process models, they don't encourage on-site and offshore teams. According to the rule, according to the rule, such models, RAD or Scrum or any agile, they should not be, I mean, people should not work from different locations. People have to work from only from one location. Either you outsource the people out, either you bring people from outside from other company also, okay. However, they have to work in one place. So in that case, so you mean to say all people should move to US if the client is in US? Then what about the infrastructure? What about the companies they have established here, like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Walmart, JP Morgan? So do you mean that all these companies have to shut down here and go back to all, they have to send their employees to US, or else they will hire people there? No, it will never happen. Because what do you think? How much cost? How much money? Why they have chosen India? Why they have come out with operations and all this from India? Why they have established companies in India? Why they have spent lakhs, crores of rupees in India? Because of cheap labor, cheap expenses, cheap electricity charges, correct? Cheap salaries. Because here a person will get 1 lakh per month. The same fellow with the same knowledge in US, they have to pay 10 lakhs per month according to Indian currency. So what they will do, instead of paying 10 lakhs there, they will hire 5 people from India or 2 people from India by paying lakh. 8 lakhs is benefit for company. Understand? Are you following me what I'm saying?
Yes.
Freedom.
So how they follow this rule now? They won't follow. They are not following. Then how? Then how we work means, that's why we will have some on-site people. Okay, so they will be taking care of those things. So the same story, the story continues the same, the old story only, like client will be in US and on-site team will be there and offshore team will be there. So in on-site people responsibility is to show the finished work and upgradations, or else in India what we do, we work according to the client timings, like we work in EST timings, not complete night, but I will work up to 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, so that that their time will be morning, somewhere, if it's a 12 hours difference, it will be 12 afternoon, my 12 midnight. So it's okay. So I can work up to 12 o'clock, so that they will come to office and they will conduct a meeting. In the meeting I will explain this is what happened and these are the things to be done. And okay, then I'll go to bed. And the remaining from 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, those people will take care of those things, and whomever they are on site, they will try to finish that. And what they will email to offshore team, so offshore team will do like that. It continues in that way. Sometimes what happens, client will come to you, I mean a product owner, okay, a person who is responsible for this project. That person may come to your place and he may stay here for 2 3 months or 6 months until the project is done. Okay, you got my point. One or two people may come down, SME or someone, product owner from the client, and they may stay with you. But again, it's expensive. Again, you have to pay hotel rents. Again, you have to give them a guest house. Correct? So this is how it happens.
What are these offshore teams?
Offshore means people work from India.
And on site?
On-site means people are working in US. Let's say the client is Bank of America. The Bank of America is in US. Okay. So now let's assume you are working in from US. I'm working from India. So you will be work at client location. So Bank of America will have an office set up in US. You go there every day morning and you work till evening and you go to home. And once you go home in India, I come to office and I continue the work. So I am working from on-site, you are working from offshore. So I will email you all the details, all the documents. You just show it to client, because you will be working with the client on the client time. So you just show it to them, and if any modifications are there, you do it. Remaining task you finish and send it to me again. If you want any meeting, I will work little late night and we can conduct a meeting. Like as I said, here 10 o'clock night, it will be 10 your morning, somewhere like that. Okay. So you come to office or you join from home and we can have a discussion. We can have a meeting. If necessary, we can connect the client in a conference. Okay, we call it as con call. Okay, con call conference. So we communicate there and we get the solution. Then I will go back to home around 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Or if I am working from home, I can work up to 12 o'clock and I'll go to bed. This is what happens on site and offshore. Okay,
Yeah.
because someone should be there too.
Shiva,
Huh.
I have heard one more term, that is third party. What is a third party?
Third party means vendor.
Okay.
Vendor. Now let's say Bank of America is looking for, okay, we'll go with an example. Let's say we three are working in Wells Fargo, let's assume. Okay, with three are business analysts, or with three are developers, we are working from Wells Fargo. Now Wells Fargo is in need of Java programmers. Okay, got it? You understand? So we are BS, so we don't have designers and developers, and even we don't have Java in our company. Okay, in Wells Fargo we don't have Java, or we don't have the software, or we don't have people. What we'll do now, we will hand over it to a third party vendor, a third party company, another company like a TCS can be. Okay, we outsource that Java work to other company. Understand? We call them as third party
Yeah.
vendors. Or we take people from consultancies, like there are many consultancies like Magma, Infotech, Mofai. There are so many, Collabra, like this. There are many, I don't remember. There are hundreds of consultancies where this Wells Fargo will approach them and tell them that, hey, we are looking for Java developers. So then these consultancy people will find people, and they will handle contract employees. That is what happens. Okay, third party people, vendors. Understand?
Yes.
See, now let's say I'm working for a company, Reliance. Reliance head office is in Mumbai, IT. So uh, I'm working from Hyderabad. Okay, I'm working from home. Let's say. So if I say I'll tell to my family that I'm going to on site. On site doesn't mean out of the country. On site means client location. Understand? Many people think on site means out of the abroad. No, not like that. On site means client location. The client is in Mumbai, right? I'm going to client location. That is on site. Many people have no idea. They always say on site means only out of the country. Of course, because companies are international companies like Australia, Americans, Germany. So that's why people think in that way. But on site means always client location. Right. Yeah. So that is what they are trying to say. Customer involved throughout the complete life cycle, minimizes risk of not achieving customer satisfaction business needs. When client is always with you, then whenever you have a doubt or anything, instead of emailing them, instead of waiting for their feedback, you can directly talk to them, and you can get the direct result on the same time. Okay, or in an hour, or on the same day, so that you can save time. Basically, that is what we are trying to say here. Otherwise, you have to wait almost like 8 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours to get the result from the client. Okay. Next, focus moves from documentation to code. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. Whatever you see, you develop that. Whatever you want, you develop that. That's it. You don't go for the unnecessary additional requirements. Use just modeling concepts. Use just modeling concepts to capture information about business data and processes. Like we have UML tools, right? We draw diagrams by using those UML tools to explain those requirements in detail. Okay, to technical team. Of course, in a workshop, when a client is explaining something, as a BA, you can draw some flowcharts or something wireframes, and you can give a rough image, rough picture. It depends upon the company. RAD weaknesses. Weaknesses is like, it is something like sitting on a burning ball. Okay, understand, right? What I'm saying, sitting on a burning ball. So sleepless nights, high pressure. That's what always agile is like. Risky task. Risky in the sense like speed up the process. That's it, speeding up the process. Accelerated development process must give quick responses to the user. Yeah, user in the sense client. Risk of never achieving closure. Hard to use with legacy systems. Requires a system that can be modularized. Developers and customers must be committed to rapid fire activities in an abbreviated time. Okay. What do you mean by risk of never achieving closure? What is the guarantee that you can finish within 2 months or 3 months? Tell me. No guarantee. There is no guarantee. We are following some rules and processing that. Hard to use with legacy systems. You cannot drive an old car in a race. You are in a race now, okay? You are in a car race. Do you think you can go with the same old Ambassador or old, 800cc Maruti or something like that? No. You need a more than 1000, 2000cc car. So that means it's a weakness. Why? Because we have to bring new technologies. Bringing a new technology is not a big deal because company has a lot of money, but bringing people, from where you will find people, particular technical people, where you will find, it's very difficult to find. Very rare tools will be there, like latest tools. See, let's say a new tool has introduced in the market. So how many people you think you will find? Hardly you will find 10 or 20 people. So how much demand for them? That is why always try to learn new tools which are coming in the market. So according to the time, we have to learn them and change it off. I'm talking about technical people, not business analysts. Okay. So don't go with the old tools, old technologies. So look at, let's say, if you take an example of a reporting, nowadays Tableau is famous, so you can learn Tableau. Okay, so that easily will get a job because there will be less competition. Understand? There will be less competition. If you still go with the old tools like SAP or I mean old technologies, there will be thousands of people, lakhs of people without jobs holding that knowledge. So how do you think you will get it? So that's why people are moving to BA, because there are very less BAs. There is very less competition for BA. There are many jobs, but people are less, because in India everyone talk about technology, Java, .NET, data warehousing, database, or any other database tools, but no one talked about BA. So that is why you will get a job pretty easily when you compare with other technical or technical tools. Understand? Following me what I'm saying? So
What is this Tableau?
it's a reporting tool. Example I'm telling you. Don't worry about
Okay.
that. There are so many tools in the market.
Yeah.
Like we have Hadoop. Hadoop is a database. Oracle, if you see,
Okay. Yeah.
Oracle, there are so many people on Oracle. Teradata
Mhm.
also, that was good, but there are so many people. But nowadays you can see this Hadoop since 2 years or 3 years. I even worked on Hadoop, because because as I said, I worked on most of the agile models, so we use all the
Mhm.
latest technologies. That's what, they're pretty costly. And how we gain the knowledge, internally they will train us. We get people come from different companies and train us internally. So we get training
So
internally. That's how we keep on upgrading ourselves. Otherwise, if I go outside and learn, it's very difficult. I can't find what a proper trainer, or I can't find proper time and proper knowledge I can't gain. So and even I have to pay from my pocket. So that's why always companies, every month, if there will be some more other training, there will be a database training, there will be a testing training, whichever the latest tool comes, they will provide training on that. According to your time, if you are available at that time, you can attend. Otherwise, no need. It is not mandatory that everyone must and should attend. If you have any work, you can continue with your work. If you are free, go and sit in the training and learn. At least you will have some idea. Oh, this is what, this is what, this is what. Correct?
so as a BA, you have learned these tools.
I have attended so many internal trainings, and even I gave so many trainings to people to in companies. Like I trained reporting tools, ETL tools, databases. There are so many other tools.
I am asking that a BA has to learn all these tools,
No need,
like some of them.
no need,
Hmm.
no need,
Okay.
no need. But
Hmm.
it depends on your interest.
Okay.
Now, see, once you join in a company, I'll give you a small example. Let's see, cricket players, correct? Cricket player. A person will have a title. He's a batsman or a bowler, correct? Take an example of
Yeah.
Tendulkar. Tendulkar is a batsman. So Tendulkar is only a batsman? No, he's also a bowler. He has taken many
Yeah.
wickets.
Yeah.
So now you ask Tendulkar, why did you bowl? Why you are doing bowling? No, because he is with the team. He learned that. That is what happens.
Hmm.
Correct. You will also learn in
Yes.
that way. In real time, what happens is, along with the team, if everyone is boozing, you also booze, right? Some or other day. That happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. You will get addicted. I mean, automatically you will learn it. No need to, I mean, force yourself, or no need to someone to push you on the day, or like that. Automatically, because every day 8 hours, you just imagine 8 hours you spend with a team. There you will find testers, developers, designers. You go with them. I mean, you go to lunch with them. You go to everywhere there is a break. You go with them. Correct. So always they will be talking something or other, so within 1 month or 2 months, you will understand. Oh, this is what, this is what, this is what. You just imagine if you work for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, you will come to know everything in IT. Yes or no?
Right.
8 hours you're spending with them. Just imagine.
Yeah.
That is how the experience counts. Okay, anyhow.
Mm.
uh, Hard to use with legacy systems requires a system that can be modularized. At any time the system can modify. Let's say, for example, now I'm using some Wi-Fi internet. Okay, something went wrong, it's heavy raining or thunder or something, the internet got disconnected, the class will cancel simply. Correct? Yes or no? The class will cancel. Now what I will do, instead of that, I will bring one spare, like I will have one data card. Okay, I will have one wide internet. If I have 2 3 options, then I won't cancel the class. Correct? So what I'm doing, I'm saving time here. Yes or no? Alternatives. So if not this,
Yes.
some other. If not, that is why in organization what happens, they will have contract employees. Let's say there is a BA. You are a BA, you are a permanent employee. Along with you, there will be one more contract employee. Because if you are not available, that fellow will take the action. Okay?
The backup.
Backup. Exactly. In India, we will have backups, but not in US because in India we are cheap labor. You can pull a guy for 50,000 or 60,000, but you can't pull a guy with 60,000 in US because you have to pay 6 lakhs to 10 lakhs per month. So that's why the backups will be from India. Backups will be from, okay. That's why instead of taking one person, they will take 2 people or 3 people and they'll put it. Let's say now I'm going to on-site. So I need a person in India. So before 2 months or 1 month, before 2 months, we'll hire one fellow and I will train them. I will train this fellow. In 2 months, he will understand what is what. Then I will go to on-site on L1 or B1 or whatever it is. I will stay there for 6 months or 3 months, again come back. Meanwhile, this fellow will take care of it. Once I am back, once I'm back, what will do? This company will ask this fellow to go away because his contract is done. Okay, like that. In that way,
Yeah.
there are so many things to talk like that. If you keep on, saying like vast, it's an ocean. Like, so, okay, so requires a system that can be modularized at any time. It can be modified in any way, in the mean of manpower, in the mean of technology, in the mean of anything, hardware or software, whatever it is. Developers and customers must be committed to rapid fire activities in an abbreviated time frame. Exactly. Within the time, they have to finish the work. People should be motivated all the time. I motivate myself every day. No one motivates me because there is no manager or someone who motivates me. I'm the one who have to motivate everyone. So I motivate myself every time. So that everyone in Agile, what happens is everyone have to motivate themselves. There is no one to push you from your behind the screen. Okay? Like a game. Okay? Yeah. When to use RAD? Reasonably well-known requirements. User involved throughout the complete life cycle. Okay. I mean, when you know all the requirements, you follow this. Then client must be with you all the time. Project can be time boxed. Within the time, you have to finish it off. Very strict, disciplined, job, disciplined timelines. Functionality delivered in increments. Yes, it's an incremental model. Increments. First account statement, then some transfer like that. High performance not required. Why? Why high performance not required? Release the application first, then work on the performance. The best example, let's say you brought a new iPhone 7 today. Example I'm saying, of course there is iPhone 6 Plus or 6s. Once you buy that, one day, once you turn it on, within a day or a week, you will get a message, upgrade your software. Correct? Or after 1 month, after 3 months, you'll get one more message, upgrade iOS 10, iOS 9, iOS 11. Correct? Even in any application, even you take the example of a computer or Android, anything. Why you have to upgrade every 3 months, 2 months, every month? Why? Because they release the application first and they keep on increasing the performance behind the screen, finding out the errors, finding out the issues. That is how every time we get upgradation. Understand what I'm saying? Because people will be waiting for that product. Okay? So once you got it, then start upgradations. That is what is high performance not required. First release it, then later you can increase the performance. Low technical risks. When there are low technical risks, that means, as I said, there should be internet, there should be server, there should be database connectivity, 24/7 power battery backup. We say like 24/7 water, 20/7, power backup, uh, all this, something like that. Okay. So hardware, software, people. 24 by 7 people, 24 by 7 security. We generally say, if you take an example of any apartment, you are looking for an apartment or a house, that fellow say like, what are the, what you call them? Uh, so they will give you, what do you give? You give 24 by 7 security, 24 by 7 water, 24 by 7 electricity, like that. The same way, here also 24 by 7 database, servers, connectivities, people, everyone should be available. Yes. Understand? Then only low technical risks. System can be modularized. At any time
It's
the system
11 o'clock.
at any time the system can change and the system can be modified and people can modify. Like as I said, we why people train, why companies train internal people employees? Because if they get a new tool, if they get a new opportunity, they will ask us to do that instead of hiring new people. Meanwhile we will work on that, right? Yes. Like if there is no goalkeeper, let's say your goalkeeper met with an accident, someone from your team will act like a goalkeeper. How? Means of course all will work like a all will act like a goalkeeper some or other day. That means you practice, correct? The practice will help you on that day on a particular goalkeeper. Understand what I'm saying? This is all about agile.
Yeah.
Multiple skills you will find in one person if you work in agile for a couple of years. Yes, go ahead.
In RID, is it mandatory that project should be completed in the given time limit? Like I have read somewhere that if time limit allotted for every work
Hmm.
and work is not being finished in that limit, so we just leave some of these features and then add
Hmm.
them later.
Yes, yes,
Is it
you're
so?
right. Is it right? I mean, priority, that's what I said, prioritization.
Mhm.
So, what we'll
Okay.
do is, we discussed about must, should, and could and won't requirements, correct?
Mhm.
Moscow technique, you remember?
Yeah, yeah,
In that, what we do, we separate them, then we design only must first, should next, like that. You are right.
yeah.
But there is no guarantee. See, what I'm trying to say is, what is the guarantee? Can you give any guarantee on anything? Can you
No,
give a guarantee of a life? Can you give a guarantee you got married?
never.
Can you give a guarantee to your wife that you will stay with her for 100 years?
Yeah,
No guarantee. Only
I mean, yes.
only believe. Only beliefs and believe and only trust. The same thing happens here. What happens if earthquake came and your office two parts, like what you will do now? You still say that I have a deadline, I have to do that. No, can't do that. So
Right.
Sriram,
yeah.
uh, in HL we have something called the burn down charts, incremental iteration.
Hmm.
Those were not discussed in this, right?
No, this is RAD model. You are
Yeah.
talking only about
Okay.
Scrum. You are talking only about Scrum
Okay.
because you have knowledge
Okay.
only on Scrum. Because there are so many other
Yeah.
models. Yeah,
Okay.
only Agile with Scrum has all these words. What you are saying, sprint planning meetings or iterations,
Mm.
or
Okay.
short iterations, sprints, and all this belongs to Scrum, not belongs to RAD.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
so RAD is done. Rapid application development. Next is RUP. After this, Scrum. So do this tomorrow. Is that fine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
Or your wish? If you want, I will explain you this RUP today, and tomorrow we can do Scrum.
it's your wish.
Okay, see RUP. Listen carefully. Rational Unified Process. Whenever you come across rational name, rational, okay, that is a IBM product.
IBM
Remember
product.
that. Rational rows, rational repository, pro, rational tools, rational testing tools, rational. There are so many rational the models, softwares, and all this. All belongs to IBM. So in this RUP, Rational Unified Process, we have four stages: inception, elaboration, construction, and transition. Four stages: transition, construction, elaboration, and inception. When you look into construction, the same story. In RAD, what we did? Designing, development, and testing, right? The same thing happens here. Designing, development, and testing, all things happens at a time, and we'll finish the project within some period of time. Construction is over. Transition means the same in RAD we discussed cutover phase. Cutover means deployment and UAT and installation. Okay, end user training, UAT and installation. That is transition. Okay, and what is this elaboration phase? Elaboration phase is where business analysts gather requirements, document it, and inception phase is where you should know first. So this inception phase is something they have added before requirement gathering or at the time of requirement gathering. I mean to say this is a project manager area. This is a project manager area. In general, in project management, we have an initiation stage. Then project manager will discuss with the client regarding cost, regarding time, regarding the scope. So now we'll go with an example. Let's say you have agreed as a manager, you have agreed for a project. The kickoff meeting is done. Okay, and you have agreed for the project. The agreements are done. The paperwork is done, the request for proposals, documentation, everything is done, and you have quoted some price like, let's say 1 crore is a project cost, and the duration is 12 months. Okay, and the technology is Java and SAP. Okay, and everything is fine. Now we started the project. Okay, once we start the project, BA gather requirements, that uh, designer start designing. Once designer started designing, now they got a challenge that this software is not supporting. What you will do now? That is one question. Second is, when we discussed high levelly, okay, so we assumed that it looks very easy. It seems very easy, but now it's very complicated. So we need 6 more months time or 3 more months. You have agreed for 12 months time. Now you need 3 more months or 6 more months time. That is the second point. What you will do at this time. And the third is, there are so many reasons, and the third is, because of unexpected situations, unexpected things, uh, the time limit, I mean the time is not sufficient. At the same time, uh, employees, I mean project manager expected that I can get a business analyst for 60,000 bucks per month, but the market is very good and there are plenty of jobs and there is a very high competition, I mean to say, for employees. Then you have to pay 1 lakh per month for a business analyst. Are you following me what I'm saying? I'm talking about labor expenses. I'm talking about infrastructure expenses. Okay. See, when I talk about a project, what do you think? Even they charge for a coffee. Okay. Even though they charge, the project means, let's say there are 10 people working on a project. These 10 people, how much amount of water they are consuming, how much amount of coffee they are consuming, how many, how many resources they are using, office resources, everything will be calculated. Even the air condition charges, even the electricity charges, everything, and the whole comes as a project cost. Understand? Got my point? Like, let's say you're constructing a house. Okay, so you go to a builder and you tell to a builder that, I want a triplex house or a duplex house. That fellow will give you everything, like, labor expenses, electricity, plumber, cement, brick, blah 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 blah, design everything, and he will give you yes or no. So the same thing happens here. So in any of these case, there is a chance of increasement. So now you go back to client. You don't have any other option. You go back to client and say that, see, uh, we need more 50 lakhs and we need more 6 months of time. Do you think client will agree for that? If this is the case, this is the case happens every time in many projects. 90% this is the case happens. What will be the result? I will tell you. Client may sue you. Understand? Client may take back your project. Sue you in the sense, client may file a case on you because you have agreement is done or you are saying more. You may take a legal action. Second is, you will lose your goodwill. Third is, they will never give you a project again. They will take back the project. That is what happens, right? You see some buildings, they will stop in the middle of the construction. Why? Because of some unexpected situations occurs, because the documentation is not properly done, or registration is not properly done, or something has went wrong, or it is over the expectation. Okay, like you have only 50 lakhs in your account. I mean to say you have only 50 lakhs in your hand to buy a house. Now it is going to 75 lakhs. From where you will bring? You will just ask that fellow to stop it. Correct? Yes. So to eradicate all these situations, we follow this RUP model. Understand? Got my point? What I'm saying?
Yeah.
How will you eradicate? By doing initial analysis. That means a civil engineer or a builder have to do initial analysis regarding the construction. This fellow should know that how much is the cement price, how much it will be. Is there anything like growing? I mean, is there anything like, let's say 250 rupees cement bag is going to 350, that means 100 rupees it is increasing. Or the labor, let's say the government has released a new GO that labor now they are paying 750 rupees per a day, now they have to pay 1000 rupees. So this knowledge, this fellow should have first. Otherwise, what happens all of a sudden, if the cost has increases, so it goes from 10 lakhs to 15 lakhs. So it is not possible for client to pay that much of amount. So to eradicate that, as a project manager, you have to do initial analysis, financial analysis, market analysis, lot of groundwork you have to do, then only you have to go ahead. That is what is RU creation info process. Let's say here, the primary objective is to scope the system adequately as basis for validating initial costing and budgets. Okay. I mean, when you are not sure, I'm not saying that every manager is not aware of this. When you are not so confident, when you still have doubt, you follow this. That is what happens, right? We will inquire with our friends, we will do online search, we will talk to many companies, many building companies, like how much, how the why this is so and so, so and so. We do initial analysis, then only we go for it. But when people are busy, what they will do, they will give it a reputed company. Okay, so that they know that these people will give a good output end of the day. They don't do such things, like they don't ask in the middle, like this is because they do a lot of analysis. So that comes with the goodwill, that comes on the brand name. Okay, right. So let's see. Primary objective is to scope the system, validating initial costing and budgets. In this phase, the business case, which includes business context, that means a high level, draw a diagram of a project, high level. Success factors, and just think, what is the success ratio, whether I can do this or not, whether we can do this or not. Expected revenue, market recognition, etc. And financial forecast is established. To complement the business case, a business use case model, a project plan, initial risk assessment, and project description. Who will do all this? Project description, risk management, project manager, right? The core project requirements, constraints, and key features are generated. After these are completed, the project is checked against the following criteria. These are like checklists. Stakeholder, concurrence on scope definition, cost related estimates. Did you discussed? Did they accept it? Yes. Requirements understand as evidenced by the fidelity of primary use cases. If necessary, BA will gather requirements and draw use cases, because these are like internal. We are working our internal projects, right? So BA can gather requirements and give a use case description so that manager can understand it in detail. Credibility of the cost schedule estimates, priorities, risks, and development process. Okay. Depth and breadth of any architectural prototype that was developed. If necessary, put it on a paper, draw a wireframe. Establishing a baseline by which to compare actual expenditure versus planned expenditures. This line, that's what I was stressing this point from the beginning. Actual expenditure versus planned expenditure. That means you will tell to client before only that there is a chance of increasing. Are you ready? Then only we'll go ahead and start. Okay. So they will tell you, right? When you go for a house, the fellow will tell you, you can finish in 50 lakhs, but there is a chance it may go for 10 more lakhs or 5 more lakhs. If you have that, then you can say yes. Otherwise, what happens? As you said, Shobit, try to reduce the requirements. Yes, that is what they do.
Yes.
If the project does not pass this milestone, call the life cycle objective milestone. It can either be cancelled or repeated after redesign to better meet the criteria. Redesign means now you're opting for you're looking for a roof swimming pool that almost costs 10 to 15 lakhs. Better you postpone it. Leave that space like that. Better you postpone it, and the remaining building you can construct. And after a year or sometime, whenever you get good money, enough money, then you can construct that. Correct. Postpone. Yeah, that is what happens with projects. Or cancel it. Or you better stop the construction and go for some other alternative. I mean to say, Any another idea if you have any other looking for a villa, now go for an apartment like that. Understand what I'm saying? Elaboration phase. Same the requirements, business analyst phase, BA gather requirements. Even at the time of requirement gathering also, BA will do initial analysis, sit with the technical team and discuss whether we can do this job or not. It is not like I gathered requirements, I put it on your head. Now you people have to design that, not like that. Whether the technology will support or not. So BA will prepare all the use case diagrams, wireframes in detail knowledge this fellow will gain, and then he will communicate. He will, if you want, be a interact with, I mean, conduct a workshop and make the team to interact with each other, and then technical team should accept it. See, now as a trainer, you may be expecting, you will expect a lot from me, like you will expect good knowledge. So that doesn't mean that I can teach you Java.NET also, right? So tomorrow you come out and ask me, I want Java, I want something. I can't teach you. So you should ask me before only. You should tell me before only that these are my requirements, this is what I'm expecting, correct? Exactly. So then I can decide whether I can go with this or not, whether I can teach you or not, correct? Without telling me, you simply attend the BA training and tomorrow all of a sudden if you ask me these that technologies and all this, from where I can teach, correct? Exactly. So that is how happens in the elaboration phase. Before only we will discuss with the client in detail, okay, and finalize the requirements. Even still we have time to reduce the requirements or cancel it. We don't cancel basically. We try to reduce or postpone. That's it. Let's see here. Elaboration phase. The primary objective is to mitigate the key risk items identified by analysis up to the end of this phase. The elaboration phase is where the project starts to take shape. In this phase, the problem domain analysis is made and the architecture of the project gets its basic form. A structure will be created here. The outcome of the elaboration phase is a use case model in which the use cases and actors have been identified, and most of the use case descriptions are developed. The use case model should be 80% complete. Okay, description of the software architecture in a software system development process. An executable architecture that realizes architecture significant use cases. Business case and risk lists which are revised. A development plan for overall project. Prototypes that demonstrably mitigate each identified technical risk. A preliminary user manual. It's an optional, okay? So that means prepare a list, write everything on a wireframe, explain it. This phase must pass the lifecycle milestone. Architecture. This is an architecture milestone here. It's an architecture. Why? Because you're drawing something on a paper, correct? Putting it on a paper. Is the vision of the product stable? Yes. Is the architecture stable? Yes. Does the executable demonstration indicate the major risk elements are addressed and resolved? Yes. Is the construction phase plan sufficiently detailed and accurate? Yes. Of course, you have to communicate with the client and technical team. Vision is also must be stable. I mean, you should make sure that tell to client that this is what you are expecting, right? So we can't do changes later. That's it. You have to tell them very strictly. Is the construction phase plan sufficiently detailed and accurate? Construction means the development and designing, all technology and everything is planned properly or not? Yes. Do all stakeholders agree that the current vision can be achieved using current plan? Stakeholders. Everyone, like internal and external. Yes. Is the actual versus planned resource expenditure acceptable? Yes. If the project cannot pass this milestone, there is still time for it to be cancelled or redesigned. However, after leaving this phase, the project transitions into high-risk operation where changes are much more difficult and written well than made. Okay, so this is how it works. Then construction. Construction, the primary objective is to build the system software. Same story. This is the phase where the bulk of coding takes place in larger projects. Transition is transit, move the application from one environment to see. The primary objective is to transit the system from development into production, making it available to and understood by end user. Yes, deployment and UAT. That's it. Do you have any doubts? Scrum is remaining. We'll see Scrum tomorrow. You can ask me if you have any doubts. Hmm?
Okay, yeah.
Done. That's it.
Sriram, now would we have the practical sessions on each of the agile methodologies like RAD, RVP, and Scrum? Do you give us projects in each of the parameters?
No, these
Means
are
practical
SDL.
exposure.
Practical means I'm giving some examples, right? I mean to say, these are not softwares. These are like models, like we have to follow. That's it. I can show you that this
Uh,
project is designed by using this, but how can I show you that? How can I conduct a workshop? Correct? How will I? I can't bring
okay.
people and sit at one place and make them to discuss, right? It is not a programming language to show you the code. Yes or no? So
Yeah.
I can say that. So this project we followed Scrum. This project we followed RAP. Like this, I can say, and I can also show you that in this project we have conducted a workshop. Like this, I can say, but I cannot show you, right, by conducting a workshop.
No, but what I'm saying is about the requirement gatherings and all.
Requirement gathering techniques we have. That is a separate session. This is not a
Okay.
requirement gathering techniques. This is only software development lifecycle models. Like depending on the
Huh?
project, we follow these SDLCs. Requirement gathering techniques are different because in every SDLC we have analysis phase. Correct.
Yes.
In RUP we have elaboration phase. In RAD we have workshop, that is chat sessions. In waterfall, incremental, and prototype we have analysis phase where we go with interview concept, questionnaire concept. We do gap analysis. We do all this. So depending on the project, depending on the model, we follow different requirement gathering techniques. If you are following RAD model, use chat session, that is workshop. Workshop is one of the requirement gathering technique. So that we'll do.
Okay.
Once we are done with this, let's see where is the sheet. I'll show you. So here we have, right, eighth topic, requirement gathering techniques, chat sessions, gap analysis, Moss, Kozakman, interview questionnaire. This
Okay.
is this is the you'll understand. And now we are just discussing SDLC models. That's it.
Hmm.
Understand? And you understand how to explain the requirements. That is a practical study. That's a real example. Use case document, leave management system, performance management system.
Okay.
Have we done this or not?
Yes.
Yes, that is a practical way of explaining requirements to technical team in the form of drawing diagrams and all this. Yes or no? You have to practice. I told you how to draw a
Yeah.
wireframe. I told you how to draw a
Yes.
flowchart. Yes, that is a practical study.
If you give us an assignment, we can practice all these kind of use case diagrams and documentation using
Yeah,
MSSCM.
I will give you. I'll give you assignment. Don't worry. I
Okay.
have all the questions and answers in email. If you want, I can show you.
Okay. Okay. Not at all.
I
Not
have,
at
I
all.
have, I told you, right, yesterday, I think, yesterday or in the last class, I have shown you all the 23 assignment questions. Correct?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll show you that. I'll give you
Yes.
that.
No problem.
See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Sure.